Okay, so back to the topic at hand today. Here of none and
Alice. Aliceink.
and we're going to be talking about body modifications, tattoos, piercings, and stuff like that today. Now, first off, why do we call you Aliceink?
Because I have a lot of Alice in Wonderland tattoos.
Would you care to show?
Not really. I'm not wearing a bra.
Well,
But
no.
I have
Yeah, come on, sleeves at least.
her tattooed. This is really awkward.
I know. Woo. Eat me, drink me, Cheshire Cat there. Got more on the on your actual.
I just needless to say, it goes all the way up.
Yeah, Mad Hatter there.
There's a queen and a caterpillar.
Caterpillars.
There's a queen up here. I have a skull and crossbones of Alice in here, and then I have.
Well, you have a few more that are up here. This one's a color sleeve on this side.
See.
Alice on that side.
And you have stuff out here.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah. And then you have other stuff in here that you've put in just for more sentimental value at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, for people that are not familiar with tattoos, never had a tattoo in your life, what would you call those? Like the full arm. Like, break it down for us.
Well, it's essentially, if it's a body part and not a single piece, it's usually called a sleeve. It doesn't necessarily have to be just the arms. It's full body. You know, you could have a full leg sleeve, but like then you have a chest piece or a back piece or that sort of thing.
Now, when you get tattooed, how much pain is it? Because that's usually a question most people ask.
It really varies. It depends on your tolerance of pain. It depends on your patience. And it also depends really on who's doing the tattoo and what part of the body you're getting the tattoo. If you have more flesh, more fat behind what you're getting tattooed, it will be far more comfortable than like
So
your bones.
So does that mean, like, if you get a tattoo on your butt?
Oh, you won't be able to feel it. I mean, you'll be able to feel it, but it won't be nearly as intense as like when I got my chest done, my foot, elbows, or really soft, sensitive parts where there are a lot of nerves.
Well,
like up in the armpit is terrible.
The elbows don't.
It's gross. It's really painful.
The elbow hurts?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes. It's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And it doesn't heal well. So usually the ink will pull out and it will look like shit.
But I thought, like,
It's a really, really difficult area to tattoo.
Well, yeah,
it's
that's
a really
true.
difficult tattoo area because it wears off so quickly, and there's so much motion
Yeah.
to that particular
Yeah, I can see that.
piece of skin that the ink will.
But I thought the pain wouldn't be that bad because you don't you don't have to itch on your thing. You like the nerve endings on your elbow are different than.
It's like when you hit your funny bone.
Yeah, I can see that.
And especially in places like that, it vibrates when it's on your bone. So it doesn't necessarily immediately hurt in that specific spot, but it radiates and it's really uncomfortable. I found that to be the most true high up in this area. The flames, it was up in my throat. It made me throw up.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Just imagine. I'm okay with bottom modifications, but some of them just get me asking why, like the weird modifications, the Bailey heads. Yeah, we'll probably get into a little bit of that. I figure we'll ease into it. Like those common ones are, of course, piercings and tattoos, which
Yeah.
I mean, let's get
More
in,
mainstream.
we can also get into a little bit of the culture to it too, because we had this discussion earlier. Like, we talked about getting tattoos and all that stuff. One of the reasons I don't have tattoos is my mother really impressed upon me that you don't get tattoos if you're going to be looking at professional work in the IT field. And back when I first started looking for work,
That was very true.
it was very close-minded to say that, or very close shop, very, I don't know the best expression for it, but like if you had a tattoo when you went into an interview and I had the same skills as another person,
It was very prejudiced.
yeah, I wouldn't get the job. The other person would get the job because they'd think I was a biker or some weirdo or something else like that.
It's taboo, understandably so.
Yeah.
But I think
And I think it's still a little bit taboo, but
the
it's
amount
more
of,
acceptable
the
for.
amount of IT jobs, you know,
Yeah.
has greatly grown in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think for IT it's a little bit more acceptable.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I think in general it's a lot more acceptable.
Yeah. And I think it's a little more. And I think this is also one of the areas where I think it's more acceptable for a woman to have a tattoo than it is for a guy.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
I've gotten a lot of prejudice for having tattoos.
I'm not saying you won't get prejudice, okay? But I'm saying if a guy has a tattoo and a girl has a tattoo, a girl might get away with it easier than.
No.
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 Mm.
No, because no. If a woman has from my personal experience, if a woman has tattoos that are more visible than a man, it's much more. You're not viewed as a very delicate person. You're not very. You're not. It's been kind of thought of me that maybe I was a loose woman, that I was a slut,
That I can see that,
or that I party, and that sort of thing. So like a lot of people are very surprised. Either they're very surprised knowing that I have tattoos, that I'm a mom with well-behaved, educated children, and that I am very into like all natural parenting. Or if someone doesn't know I have tattoos, and I've actually had this happen with a friend of mine. Her mother had no idea that I had tattoos, let alone as much of my body covered as I do, and she found out and she said, "Oh, I didn't know you're one of those people."
Oh, Jesus.
And I wasn't really sure what that was indicative of, because I'm not really sure what, like, a slut who has no money and like has 3 baby daddies. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but it was viewed as a very negative.
You live your life as you feel fit, but
Right.
that's what some people will view it as. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the way I was thinking of it is like if you had a very feminine tattoo. Let's say, like my sister, for example, she has a was it like the Sublime Sun on her foot there? But if you had that Sublime tattoo like right here on your thing, that sun, like the happy sun there and all that stuff.
That's not a very feminine tattoo.
Well, it's not. It's not like it's not like barbed wire, or it's not a very masculine tattoo. I guess is the best way I can put it. Or a skull and crossbones or something else like that. If you had just like the sun there, or like a dolphin or something like that, I don't think many people would be saying anything about it, right?
Except that there were shitty fucking tattoos.
Probably. But if a guy wore that, right?
They would think that he was pussy.
Yeah. 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 And they would either bash him for being a pussy, or they'd be bashing him for being a freaking gang, That's one of the reasons I say that women get away with it a little bit more in certain cases there, because if they have a tattoo that is less what do you call it? Less masculine, less aggressive, I guess. Then they can be like viewed as, oh well, that's just art.
Yeah, but a lot of people assume that I'm a lesbian because I have tattoos. As if it would make a difference if I was, because women are wonderful, and if I didn't end up with you, I would have happily. Maybe someday I will find someone. No, I shouldn't say that. Like, I've always thought, never mind. I'm just.
Do you want to go down that road?
I'm just digging myself a hole. But it's not, like saying that, I must be a dyke, as if it was a bad implication, or that they were hand in hand.
It's just the fact that, like, if you had the tattoo. Well, actually, interestingly enough, right? Guys with 2 piercings on either ear. When I went up in high school, like, everyone was like, "Oh, if you're a guy and you have piercings, you must be gay."
Yeah, which is okay. So here's there's a reason. There's an actual reason for that, even though it's really homophobic. In the 80s, 70s, and 80s, gay men used earrings
to identify.
Right, to identify each other.
Okay, yeah,
It was a counterculture movement, which at the time made sense. And in the same token, I suppose, in that era as well.
But to assume
bikers would use.
Yeah, but to assume that like a high school kid would know that or have any reference to that.
No, but high school kids are assholes.
Yeah.
So they would find any reason to be terrible to each other.
That's true too. Now, let's go ahead and get our monitor capture going here. So, just showing over here some of the different things here.
I've had all of those piercings.
Yes, yeah. So this is showing off piercing, some of the different ones you can have. You can have like full ones in the ears here. Other ones, of course, nose, septums, various stuff.
Frenulums.
Frenulum.
Frenulum piercing, smiley piercing.
Lip piercings, all this other good stuff. You can also have nipple piercings, belly button piercings. I don't want to pull any of this out there because, of course, Twitch will probably flag us for doing something to adults.
Sure. Yep, you can have a plethora of genital piercings. You could do body piercings. Your clavicles, hip bones. You can do corsetry piercings on any part of the body. I mean, it's limitless.
Now, tattoos. This man is, I cannot remember his name. Do you remember?
He's either French or he's Canadian.
Yeah, but do you remember his stage name?
No.
He's been in Lady Gaga videos.
Yep.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's got most of his body tattooed with like the entire thing here. What do you think?
Very well done.
What do you think hurt the most?
His skull,
The skull, you think?
most likely.
You told me that like the inside of your arm has been like the most painful.
Tender because it swells because there's so much to it.
Not for me. Not for me. There's certain places I may eventually get a tattoo someday, somewhere, but probably not anytime soon. Split tongues.
Yes.
That's an interesting one. You split the tongue right down the middle. I think that one's a very dangerous one though too, because you got that like vein in the middle of your tongue, right?
You have to. I mean, your tongue is it means that there's two muscles.
Yeah.
And they're only connected really by a thin membrane and then the outer covering of your tongue, the outer skin of your tongue. But there are very major veins that run through your tongue because it's one of the strongest muscles of your body. So of course you have to have a lot of blood flowing to it. So obviously, with any body modification, FYI, folks,
yes,
please go to a fucking professional that is licensed.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute though too. Like when we talk about piercings and tattoos, right? You can go to a licensed professional and to do it and all that stuff. Things like
it's a body modification.
Things like this, they don't even have shops to do this, and like in certain states, they don't even have like licenses to do this. You have to have like a surgeon do it, right?
No, you go to a tattoo shop. You go to a place that does body modification. You go to someone who has experience.
I thought this was illegal in certain states to do. If you don't have, okay.
It might be
because I thought like they basically make it say you have to have a surgeon to do anything that cuts open the skin, and then they make it so that the surgeons they pressure the surgeons not to do it. That's what I've heard in the past. I don't know the current state of the thing though.
I've never heard that. But go to someone who has had a lot of experience, someone who isn't new to this. Because it's terrible. I mean, you want to make sure that it's a clean place. You want to make sure that they sterilize everything, or everything is new and sterilized. Everything is one use. That they have an autoclave. It's not necessarily just getting the body modification done. It's the introduction of germs and how you take care of it.
Yeah.
Because that could kill you. An infection could kill you before you bleed out. Not before you bleed out, but I mean, that would be causing long-term damage.
Another one, insertions. Somebody mentioned earlier about the donut heads. Very similar thing, where basically they cut open the skin,
make a pocket,
and then put in like a silicone implant.
Or they can inject you.
Yeah, that's how they get those like horn looks for some of those, and like change the faces and all that stuff. Or
with horns, what they'll do is they'll it depends on if it comes out or not. With like when you can do what's it called? They're like body studs.
Yeah.
And what they do is that they'll cut you open, and they'll make a little pocket, and they will make a cut in the center of the pocket, a little slice, and then they will insert the base, which is a flat back with a screw, and then you can put different beads on
different studs in there. Yeah. Yeah. In
I
addition
don't
to
have
that,
the stomach for that. I think it.
Yeah.
I think it can be really beautiful,
Yep.
but I just can't do that.
Yeah. Another thing is the
Body stretching.
yeah. I should probably zoom this in a little bit here. So basically, yeah, this is more natural, but this is neck stretching here, which is more
This is very cultural.
well, sorry, cultural, not to say not natural. Yeah, this is something more of a cultural thing there. But
Culturally aesthetics.
right, but it's like something they actually do in a full culture to do it, like as like
Just within the society,
Yeah.
it makes a societal norm. At one point, it was, and it's for status and for beauty, and not necessarily.
which is very weird because everyone else inside of the first world countries here view body modification as like, oh well, you're going against society because you're doing body modification.
Right.
Whereas in these cultures, they actually say do body modifications to be culturally acceptable.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very weird in that.
No, it's not. It's
Well, no, I
just
mean-
very Western.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying it's like it's a shift in our
Sure.
in our cultural look.
Sure.
Right.
And just an FYI, folks, it is not. You don't just have to stretch your necks. I'm sure you are all adults, well involved, versed in the internet, and you've
yes.
seen, you've seen genitals that are stretched. And
Oh yes. Well, actually, but more common in our cultural.
Split.
Well, more common in our culture is actually like the earlobes and
Oh,
the
yes.
tongues. I didn't pull any of those up because some of them, like when you look for them, they show you the most extreme ones, and they have them like going down to here.
Which
Right.
is, I mean, it can be.
And not to say that those things are bad or anything like that, but I wanted to give like people who have never seen this type of thing a look, not to be so extreme and all that
Sure.
stuff. This one here showing the ears, though. This one,
I think that's not real.
no, that's real. That is one of the
No,
no.
no,
I'm pretty sure that one
Nope.
is.
it's latex. That's latex.
Think it is?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But yes, actually, you can have your ears modified
I'll just
to
do it.
have elf ears.
This may come up with some bad images. I apologize.
What it is really is that what they'll do is they'll split your ear here or where you want it, and the deeper that the cut goes, the more pointed your ear will become. Yeah, that's a
The
really
image.
good.
Yeah. So yeah, I apologize for some of the. I know this is like, trigger for some
medical.
people. Yeah, it's medical.
I mean,
Yeah. So this shows like they basically cut the ear, fold it in, and stretch it. I have seen these get kind of large in certain cases, but
it depends on the ear. My ear would not
no.
be noticeable because I have small ears.
Yeah, but the reason the way I've seen it, the other way I've seen it, it's a little bit extreme, but they actually will take the same thing that they use to stretch out the ear here, and then put it up here and shape it upward, and then put in like an insert to like
Give it some
yeah.
backing.
Yeah, so there's like two ways to do the pointed, but I've seen both of those done, and it's a little weird, but it's something like somebody wanted to have that pointed ear look to it, That's why I thought that other one was. I probably got that one wrong on that one, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that was latex.
Now another one here. He's probably one of the more famous people for body modification because he made his entire face like a cat,
Well, not only
and has like extensive work with like inserts into the cheeks,
Yep.
pointed fangs. Like, oh yeah, you can also teeth modifications. Another one there.
Yeah.
Actually has, like you mentioned, the screw-ins, the whiskers of screw-ins,
Yep.
and all that, and like has horns and all this other stuff there. So all that stuff kind of goes into body modification in some way or another. So what do you think? Like what would be the most extreme that you'd ever go? Do you think?
Probably like a suit.
Like a full,
Yeah,
like a full tattoo suit?
yeah, but I don't. It wouldn't be. Just from experience and personal choice, I would never get my hands, my face, my neck.
Yeah, because with your job, right? You usually do like full, like full,
in
full,
any
full
professional
clothing.
setting.
Yeah,
I usually wear long sleeves, high neck shirts, and it isn't because I am not comfortable. It's just it's a professional setting and it's different than my personal preferences. Although my personal preferences I don't necessarily wear very revealing clothing because, quite frankly, my body modifications aren't for anybody else but me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't dress to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dress to the benefit of the public. I dress for myself.
Yeah. I think the most I'd probably get would be tattoos at most. I don't think I would do most of the other body modification, though I do respect it.
Oh yeah.
Like and some of the extreme stuff that I don't show here is probably the most extreme to me is hanging.
That's
Hook hanging especially.
Yeah.
That is considered a type of modification. And this will make some people cringe. I apologize. I'm going to describe it, not actually show it though. But basically, what they'll do is they'll have multiple hooks, large hooks, like
fish hooks,
like
large.
Imagine like the size of this type of headphones here, and they will take it and then. They have certain parts of the body where they have the skin like stretched out,
There's
and then
more flesh.
yeah, and then they'll hook through it multiple times, and then hoist the person up into the air. You go to a tattoo expo and all that stuff, and they'll show that. They didn't show this time though. I think they were trying to get more kids involved into this, and I think the suspension really freaked out a lot of people.
It was a lot. I mean, not that I had never seen it before, but it was it
can be extreme for some. Yeah. You have that cringe factor to it, but you realize that at the same time, like, all that really happens is, like, the hooks go under the skin and just holds them up there, and it's not any different than, like...
Well, you want to make sure that your weight is evenly distributed so it doesn't rip out of your body.
Yeah.
Which...
It's a
euphoric thing. You get an incredible rush of endorphins, and it's a really, really intense natural high.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I could do. I can understand where people come from. The adrenaline rush, the endorphins is pretty serious.
Yeah,
and of course, I mean, then you have the
there's also
have the street cred after that.
Well, from what I've heard from interviews on some of these things as well, it's not just the endorphin rush, but it's also the fact that certain people want to have control of their bodies and show like, oh, look, I can do this with my body. I can actually hold myself up with hooks dangling in here, survive, come back out, and I'm perfectly fine afterward. That's actually that's
one
of the
spiritual thing.
Yeah. It's basically somebody coming in and saying, I'm controlling my body here. I don't need to worry about any of this stuff. And it reminds me of like the
I think that's really true for body modifications in general. To
yes.
say, look at me, I am taking control of myself and my body and the decisions of what is done to it.
Yeah.
And I am making it what I feel is acceptable. Like at this point in my life, I can't imagine what I would be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this, the way that I look is very much a personal decision, and I couldn't imagine. Not being modified.
Mm-hmm. But the thing that it reminds me of though is like the sideshow, and the carnivals.
Sure.
Like the people standing in the bed of nails. Yeah. Have a guy like, bed of nails on top, jump on top and all that stuff. And saying, look at this, look at me, I can do this stuff with my body. Mm-hmm. The guy with the nail up the nose.
Sure.
The sword swallowers. Yeah. But the freak they call it the freak show, but like the freak shows are always kind of like not just like something to like be like, come look at my strange body. It's like, look at what I can do with this body that you can't even imagine doing.
Yeah.
And
yes, scarring is another body modification.
Scarification.
I knew someone in high school who did it, and I at least for her, it was a very time-intensive process because she healed so well, and she had such a large design that they had to go back multiple times to actually create the scarring. Because, I mean, for example, you have tattoos. And when you do medical scarring with like scalpels and stuff, the whole point is that you want your body to take the modification, and you want to scar. You want it to stay, and so while you want it to heal, so you're not introducing yourself to germs and stuff like that. It just makes me.
Yeah, I'll show.
It's beautiful.
I'll show one image here But the reason I didn't show that one before, because it's also kind of one of those things that kind of makes you, it's a little bit of a cringe factor in certain cases here. But here's one, for example, that looks really nice in the way it's done. But
Wait.
the process of getting to it,
You're removing skin.
yeah, and also like in certain cases, like you're also like packing it in with other stuff to make it bubble up, which like it's sort of like getting it's like
Bless their heart.
it's not an infection, but it's like it's trying to get it to swell. Yeah, you're trying to irritate it to get it to swell.
You want it to keloid. You want it to scar, because then the less you have to go back in and hurt yourself.
Yeah, it's a little bit extreme in my opinion. That's definitely on the more like the further end of some of that as well.
It can be, yeah, it can be, because it is. I mean, there are less artists who are capable of doing good work like this.
Yeah.
Versus people who are trained. This is not that it's new, but the methods are much newer, and so they don't necessarily have a lot of people who are doing this kind of modification.
Yep. Yeah. But most of the times it's like I prefer to get a tattoo over that, because I also gotta imagine that's gotta be painful.
Of course, you're peeling off layers of your skin.
Yeah. But what are you doing with a tattoo? You're taking a needle 1,000 times and going do with like ink inside of it, right? Ugh.
It's a completely different process.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
But that's also
kudos to people who can do this.
Yeah, but and also that's also got to be a permanent thing too, right? Because can you remove that as easy as you could a tattoo? Definitely not, right? Right.
You're taking, for example, I had my conch pierced, and I was a size 10. The earring that I had put in was a size 10, and what they did, it's not, if you have any piercings, like you think ear piercings, you go to like the mall,
Yeah.
and you have someone shoot it with a gun. That's actually really bad, because it's not removing the flesh, but it is displacing it. So then you're forcing a blunt object at high speed. It's doing a lot more damage than a hollow needle, which is what you'll get at a tattoo parlor or a piercing parlor. And so I had this piercing done, and it is a size 10. So it's probably the diameter of a pencil eraser. And it's a hollow needle, so it is a large size needle that is hollow, and they right all the way through. But you're removing that flesh, and then you're immediately replacing it with the jewelry, so that the body, instead of healing to the size to replace the flesh that you removed, it is healing to the size of the jewelry that you've put in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just automatically closing it up before it gets in there.
Yeah.
How you doing, Titan Killer? Yeah, go ahead and put your question in there, but we are talking currently body modifications, tattoos, piercings, etc. If it's really not a question pertaining to that, we probably would skip it over. Unless it's pertaining to that, we'll probably skip it over and just contact.
For now.
Yeah. So you've had multiple piercings, but most of them have closed up right now, right?
Yeah. If you take proper care of them and you get them pierced accordingly, then you're not necessarily losing a lot. My ears were the size of dimes. It was a 00 gauge at the biggest.
Yeah.
And I did it slowly so that my skin had time to heal. And didn't break. I didn't rip my ears or anything like that. So it was a slow process that healed slowly. But I can wear regular earrings now. I mean, other piercings that I had, not necessarily my ears, there are still holes I can put some through, but most of my holes have closed up.
But like you take a look at it now, you don't have much there. It looks like just a standard piercing.
Yep. Yeah.
Hole or anything else like that.
Yep.
So not everything is like exactly permanent, or at least not like your mother tells you you're going to ruin your body by doing this. However,
You can.
yeah, for our kids, we're telling our kids, if you're going to go ahead and set up, if you're going to go ahead and get a tattoo or a piercing, a tattoo in particular, you got to be, the way I'm going to explain it to Locke or to our son or to our daughter is that if you get a tattoo, you're going to have to pay for the tattoo and have enough money left over to get the removal of it as well. And you're going to have to be able to take the pain of the removal, which is about 10 times as worse, correct?
Yeah, I think it's worse. I wouldn't know. I've never had anything removed.
But it's taking a laser over the skin, which is
Yeah.
almost like taking a lighter and then putting your hand
It does.
over it.
It does take, and it takes a few sessions.
Yeah.
It's not so much. I'm not so worried about the removal of a tattoo, to be quite frank. They need to be of legal age.
Oh, yes. Yes.
They have to be a legal adult. They have to be able to pay for it. And then they have to understand the ramifications of having a tattoo or having a body modification. The stigmas that can come along with it, or if anybody,
How early for piercings?
you really should be 18. I mean,
Even for our daughter?
You can almost at any age get parental
Consent.
Consent.
I agree. But I'm asking, like, because, like, I remember my sisters, when they back in the day, they got it. I'm
It's
pretty
more
sure,
culturally
I'm pretty sure
acceptable
they
for
were
a
like
girl.
12 or 13
Yeah.
when they got it.
Ask for their ears pierced.
Yeah.
I think either kid could be able to ask for it without it being an issue. To a certain extent, it really makes me uncomfortable I would not do it to them without their consent until they were old enough to consent.
Yeah.
Either of them. And that's a personal view. I know that there are a lot of cultural choices that people make to have girls' ears pierced young. So, I can understand where that comes, but that's just not what we're doing. I guess I guess probably around that age, puberty, if they said, "Can I please get my ears pierced?" then I would have them understand what it takes. What the process is very important, because we won't be going to a mall or
Yeah.
a kiosk to have that taken care of. We'd go to a piercing studio, and they would have to understand what kind of process it is to get their ears pierced and what kind of jewelry they can wear until they're healed, because you're not going to get a stud. Most places won't pierce with a needle and put a stud in. Usually you have to get a captive, which is like, they're hoops. You can get cute gems and stuff to go with it, but it's not what you think of with, like, the piercing studs. I had that when I was a kid. But
Yeah. And I'm hopefully never going to have to get those.
What, piercing? It's not it's really not a...
I just can't imagine, like, I'm okay with needles going in for blood, but I can't imagine, like, a needle going in to get, like, take a chunk of flesh out. That's my thing, though.
It's not awful.
Yeah.
It's faster than you think.
Probably. The other thing I can't really imagine. I know that, like, one girl in my class had, like, back in junior high, she had a nose piercing. And for the longest time, I took a look at it, I was like, I was just like, one bad day with allergies, you're just gonna be like, it's gonna, like, shoot off the side.
Yeah. Well, not really. I think probably the worst that I had ever encountered was, it's called a nose screw, and essentially instead of it being just a straight stud, it's got, you have your stud and then your post, and then it curls around at the bottom so that you hook it in, and then you go put it straight through, and it won't pull out. So you won't have a earring backing irritating the inside of your nose. It lies flush with the inside of your nose. And a girl came in and she said, "Oh my God, my nose is so irritated. I'm trying to clean my nose. I'm trying to pull my ring out. I want to change it, but I can't. I don't know what's wrong." And she was really distraught. And I said, "Okay, let me put a glove on. Let me check it out." And the whole bottom of the stud was covered in dried boogers. And I had to pick it out and then take the stud out and then put it. It was so gross. It was disgusting.
Ugh.
But I mean, you have to take care of your body modifications in order for them to work correctly.
Yeah.
and for your body to function. Oof.
Uh-oh, our little girl is
I know you're
twitching over there. So we probably should wrap things up here a little bit here.
Yeah.
But, meanwhile, I don't know. It's one of those things where I might get it. Like I keep on saying that, but I may get it one day here. But what's the one thing that you would probably recommend people never get?
Don't get something that you don't love.
That doesn't have meat. Well,
No, it doesn't even have to have meaning. Here's the thing. Half the tattoos I have zip. They mean nothing. They are aesthetically pleasing to my own eye.
okay. So well, they have meaning to you. They're nice for you to look at, right?
Yes, do it for you. Fuck everybody else.
Right.
And make sure that you do your research and you find an artist that you like their work. Make sure that they have a portfolio and that they have the experience that you're looking for and that you like the style that they're doing. Talk to them. Make sure that they are someone that you at least can spend a couple of hours with because that's how long a tattoo takes. And make sure it's a reputable shop. Like, you pretty much get what you pay for.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get at, like, don't get tattoos like bands, girlfriends' names, like, not to say that your likes are going to change drastically, but it seems like everyone who gets a tattoo or something eventually leads into, like, oh my god, this Metallica thing here, I'm going to love Metallica forever.
I'm going to love the Backstreet Boys forever.
And then end up being like, okay, I don't like them that much anymore after the new album, but I got this tattoo.
Terrible. Honestly, my personal rule of thumb is that I don't get names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would probably get the kids' names, or I would get my dad. Like, I'd have dad written somewhere.
Family members make sense,
right?
But like people that you,
I would never get your name tattooed on me. I would never get our wedding date tattooed on me. I would nope.
No, because that would indicate that I own you and that I have you as a piece of property.
Right, which obviously that wouldn't work out so hot. But then if shit gets bad, then I have a permanent reminder of you, or I have to go and have something changed or modified again, so that I could be happy with it. And I don't, as much as I love you and as permanent as I see our marriage and our relationship, there is a level that I don't want to.
Things can always change on other areas there. I figure I should probably get my name, my social security number, and maybe my birthday.
My telephone number.
Yeah, my telephone number right here.
Address.
That way I never lose it. You know, I and if I ever did it, I'd have to get like my own designs too. I could never go with somebody else's designs.
Well, that's the thing.
That's my thing too. Like you said, you have to find good reputable artists that you can get along with.
Right.
You know.
And a lot of people will work with you. That a lot of artists, if they're giving some creative freedom, mind you, you have to have a little bit of trust as well in your artist.
Oh yeah.
Because if you go in and you say, this is what I'm getting, I'm giving you no option, you are going to have to do it exactly how I tell you, where I tell you, and I'm not going to budge, they're not going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. Not only are they not going to have a good time, but they have knowledge, an experience that you just don't necessarily have. So you're going to be like, oh my god, I want to get like the Little Mermaid in this, the size of $50. And they're going to be like, I cannot get the detail you want in it. And it's going to be a black blob.
I think that's the other
5 years.
I think that's the other good thing with it too, though, to mention. Like the color scheme is also a big one there too.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, like like two things you always want to get: never get something that's extremely light, never get anything that's extremely dark.
Right.
Because both of those always have like the biggest
they're
issues.
very problematic.
And also, if you ever get a tattoo, never get in Atlanta, never get in Vegas, never get in California because you're visiting. Please don't.
Well, unless you go specifically for that.
But-
You
oh, if
find
you're-
an artist
if
and
you're
you're
going
like,
for
I'm going to
them.
go travel. Like, that's totally legit.
But no, like it's like it's 2 a.m. You've had a few things. You think that
Oh,
tattoo
yeah.
is a real good idea.
I'm going to get a tattoo in spring
No.
break. Woo! That probably won't end so well.
I gotta get tattooed so I can remember this forever.
Right.
Just buy the souvenir card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or-
Get the shirt.
Yeah, get the T-shirt. That's all that you really need.
And
somebody bad.
I do see a lot of a lot of really popular style tattoos right now are the very cute, the very petite, very sweet, girly tattoos, and they're gonna be illegible
Oh yeah.
so quickly, so quickly. Or people who get hand tattoos, it's just
But at the same time, I see a lot of people still going for those, like, I almost want to call them cartoony type of tattoos, like the original tattoo types that they have there, like, the heart with the sword through it and like the ribbon,
you have
like mother.
traditional.
Yeah, the traditional ones. I see those being very popular, but I always take a look at it. It's like
There's new school.
they
and
never-
there's old school.
they always go old school with them. And I'm always kind of like, they could update that so much, but I understand you're giving old root.
It's the aesthetic. The
I
reason that it's the aesthetic.
I guess I just can't understand it for myself.
Right. That's not
But-
your style. I would
Yeah.
get something old school probably sooner than I would get something new school.
And it's
If you had asked me when I first started getting tattoos at 18, I would say new school.
right.
But as I get older, my preferences really are more
Something-
classical.
More classical, yeah. But I don't know. I take a look at it. I look at it. I want to have it like a piece of art, something new, something somebody's never seen before. So going old
Well-
school kind of defeats that because I never see anything that's
This
old
is-
school that's really like, this is really unique. Unique. I know that no one's ever probably gonna do a tattoo like this.
No,
You know.
I don't. I don't really agree. I've seen a lot of old school, old style tattoos of very modern themes, and I hate to say it with the hipster craze, but that's kind of it. There's a lot of people who like bringing back older style aesthetics.
drawing style and all that stuff.
Right.
The thick lines and all that
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Very basic colors, which is very appealing. And the other thing too about the old school style tattoos are that they oftentimes will age very well because they're so basic, because they're so clean cut. That like my grandfather was in the Navy for World War II.
Yep.
And he had swallows on his chest, and to the day he died, you knew that they were swallows. And they weren't even filled in. They were just the outline because he wasn't drunk enough
Yeah.
to sit through a whole tattoo. So he only had the outline of the swallows on his chest, but you knew that they were swallows.
Yeah, I can understand. I can agree with that, but like, I'd still want to have something that's like very modern-esque and like very like, shaded in with like various styles and all that other stuff there.
But
But of course, the thing that always bothers me is like, where can I get it that if I actually worked out, which I mean, who knows when I'm ever gonna freaking do that? But if I lost like 30 pounds, right, my body would change.
sure.
And that tattoo that I got now is like
Absolutely.
like totally deformed on my arm here because I'm like built or something like that.
Right.
The only place I could see myself ever getting a tattoo is probably the back because the back rarely changes depending on what you're doing, right?
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. Like we get on the gut though, of course, that would like
Well, that's why I never really got yes, I have my chest done, but they're not low enough that it would
be affected
change
by anything.
drastically.
Yeah, with the pregnancy and everything
I
else
don't
like
have
that.
anything on my stomach. I do have something on my hip, but I don't really care about it. It was just like oh, sure, I'm gonna get a tattoo. Like,
Yep.
I don't even care about it. But even that doesn't have any stretch marks.
Yeah.
After a couple of kids.
Yeah. So
But it depends on how your skin heals.
yeah, someday I will look at getting a tattoo. But at the same time, like, okay, we should also probably talk about a little bit the cost of this too.
It really should cost some money. You should be putting out
Yeah.
a couple $100s.
Let's go over your more recent ones here because those are, if that's all right. You had this one here,
Yep.
right? That was about 500,
I paid $400 for it.
400, and you had the one here with this.
Probably like $350, $400.
300, 400.
It's a different artist.
Different artist. And then you had the one with the key, right?
Yeah, and that was like 200.
200 on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does cost some money to do that as well.
It should. Anyway,
I couldn't see myself doing that, like, every month like I see some people, like...
No. I should mention the only reason, really, that I have as many tattoos as I have is because I did
Employee discount.
What?
Employee discount.
Right. Well, not necessarily that. I was like, I am free skin. I'm free advertisement.
Okay.
You know, I would be happy to have you sit and practice and have you hone your skills. And I would be, you know, telling people where I got my work done.
Mm-hmm.
So I was free advertisement. And it really is a reason why I have as much as I do. Not that I wouldn't necessarily want to have as many tattoos as I do. It would have just taken a lot longer and a lot more money.
Oh, yeah. Get a tattoo of a face. No, definitely not. I would never get a game tattoo. Never. No. And hell, my persona, I would not get that one done either. I mean, at best, actually, I shouldn't say that. I would get a representation done at best. If I could ever get that done, but I'd have to find a good artist for that. Because the idea I have for that one would be like a red eye, and then the signature like cheetah swoop, and that would be it.
Needless to say, our aesthetics are vastly different.
I know, but it would to me it had to be like a minimalist type of thing, right?
Yeah.
The other one that I would get was probably that the standard yin yang that you see that I use, the web yin yang. Mm-hmm. That one I could see myself using as well. But again, both of those are not great tattoos because the one with the cheetah one. Okay, what's wrong with that?
I like that ham sandwich idea.
What's a tattoo of a ham sandwich? No.
Yeah.
God damn
do it. Yes, definitely. They like that's probably I would do that.
Ham sandwich?
A ham sandwich because it's funny and it's ironic and it's good not to necessarily take yourself so fucking seriously all the time.
But then everyone would look at it and think
like,
Team
why?
Fortress. That's also a meme for Team Fortress 2, so everyone would view it as that.
Yeah, but I don't know if everybody would understand that. I wouldn't necessarily make that first assumption.
I'm saying as a gamer, that's the first thing I would reference.
Okay.
But the reason I'd say my other ones wouldn't work is doing the eye and doing the swoop like that. Red eye, yellow swoop. Yeah, that doesn't work because the yellow is a bright color, so you'd have to use shading around it, which would make it a larger tattoo than I'd have to want to be. Then if I was doing the yin yang, because it's gold plus black, the black would be okay, but the gold I'd have to do something. It doesn't work out well. So it's one of the issues I've always had with like looking at tattoos, like they just don't work out for what I wanted. It's better on paper or better on like a image of something than it is actually on skin at any point in time. And maybe someday I'll come up with a design that I'll actually love and I'll be like, I have to get a tattoo of this now, but I think I have to think about it.
I also have to look at it for the rest of your life.
Okay, so get it right on the face.
I mean, not to sound sexist, but it's absolutely going to sound sexist. Neither of those are very masculine tattoos.
Probably not, nope. But it would just have to have meaning for me.
Of course, you're right. Yes, and that's what's really the most important.
Right. It also makes it so that I never leave you, because you're the only one that can accept me then.
I'm sure you would find someone else who would love and accept you for all of your eccentricities.
It's nice that you're so positive. Anyways, guys, this has been Year of None, Aliceink. Mm-hmm. Talking a little bit on bottom modifications, piercings, tattoos. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you a little bit later. And we're usually doing these every Sunday. Assuming the kids go to sleep and stay asleep. Like luckily she's still asleep over there. At the moment. Mm.
And I need to go to bed.
And you need to go to bed as well. So, okay. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. And for folks sticking around, we're going to be doing Doom after this.